Alright guys, so I've learned some new game development things recently that have stood out to me enough that I felt like I should probably talk about it for a second. And it's going to seem super obvious to people that's been developing games for a long time and they just have their systems figured out and they do everything the same way all the time. But for some context, I started a new schedule recently. I used to always develop games later in the evening after I had done all the other stuff throughout the day. But now for the last probably month and a half, I've been getting up first thing in the morning, making my coffee, going straight to the computer to just start working on my project. And one of the biggest things I noticed with that right away was that I had more brain function left because, you know, it's not exhausted throughout the day and filled with all the other little distractions throughout the day. So long story short, it helped my focus a lot. And I feel like I can get into a flow state right away pretty quickly. Another thing that I did, that I recently got a new phone and I decided not to install any social media software on it other than anything that I absolutely needed for work or business, whatever. I would get up first thing in the morning to start scrolling, and I finally took the leap because I was getting a new phone anyways. I was like, okay, I'm deleting everything. I'm not gonna install all this extra stuff. And now I only barely use a few apps. So really my phone has become a tool and not a place of complete distraction once again. More like how it used to be before they became smartphones. And it's insane that the impact that alone has had just in my focus and being able to figure out where I really want to be in my work. But so yeah, I've been doing this for like a month and a half, like I said, and something really stood out to me recently. I put the brakes on for the project I had been working on for the last few months, which is still in the prototyping phase. But I feel like I'm getting very close to getting out of the prototype phase. But that leads me to my point. A lot of my projects always get stuck in that prototype phase. They never really see the actual like production side of things. I feel like I don't have a super clear vision on what the process of making games is. Yes, I know all the concepts and every part of it, but the actual flow from start to finish, I feel like I was lacking. Now with this new thing that I picked up, it came about because this new project that I started was something for my dad's YouTube channel. It's a treasure hunting game that the chat can actually play, and it's integrated. The chat gets integrated directly into the game, so the chatters are actually controlling what's happening in the game, which is really cool. And I managed to do all of that in about 3 days. So I made this entire game in about 3 days of hard work. And I made 18 custom areas that you can dig for treasure in. And so this really allowed me to see a different side of game development that I don't get to see often because my projects take too long. And it's really hard to make something within, you know, under a week. I mean, it's insane that I was able to do that. But it showed me that once you get all your systems coded into place, you didn't need any assets for that. I mean, you really didn't. I mean, just cubes, blank cubes, and whatever. And you could even just do it text-based. You don't even need the actual assets all the time. You just need those little electronic signals to, you know, fire off right when you need them. That's what programming is. So yeah, that brings me to the whole point of the video, which is I feel like I was lacking the perspective on the production side of things. I was more always focused on prototyping, hard coding, all this stuff. And to be able to actually see the system working and it's pretty much done and it loops and it just works, it's perfect. Then I was able to start building extra maps to extend the length of the game and then add in some story elements through just a few cutscenes throughout and then an ending cutscene. And this was just really awesome for me because, like I said, it took just a few days as to where, like I said, my current project, it's been kind of on and off, but I'm just going to say it's been at least probably 5 months, and I'm still in like a prototype stage. Now, with that said, it is coming together, but it has taken me a long time to get there, and that's just, you know, the iterative process taking place because it is a more complex idea. It's taking more time, you know. It's not like you're just copying something that already exists, so you can't just directly go off that. You do have to be kind of unique about it. With that being said, I always would lose motivation for projects, you know, because you feel like they get stagnant and they don't ever take off. And I'm just now realizing that I think for me, that takeoff point when you feel like your game really becomes a game and it's like, oh, it's here, it's happening. And then you just go all in on it and it just flows really well. That's after the prototyping's done. You know what the game is. It's confirmed right there in front of you. It's all coded, it's all done. And then you just need to start actually adding all your level pieces in that's gonna make the entire game long enough to play, right? Then you get to do the fun part of coming back and making it look all pretty, adding beautiful assets and lighting and all that stuff. And especially audio, I love messing with audio. But you have to do the hard work first. You have to get all the core foundation that has got to be done. But if you're more like me, and I'm sure a lot of people this does happen to, you kind of get stuck in that part and then it feels like you're never gonna get anywhere with it, so you kind of just give up on it or lose motivation to keep working on it. But the reality is, if you find that game in that prototype and you're like, here it is, this is it, this is working, it's a working game that is reasonably fun to play and a pretty good idea that's not already saturated. At that point, you can finally start making the game. I know that sounds crazy. Sometimes when you're just prototyping, like, you know, basic code stuff and trying to make systems, some basic UI, it doesn't, you say like, yeah, I have a game I'm working on, but it doesn't, you don't really feel like it has an identity yet. It's just kind of like, I'm kind of working on it. It's an idea. But once you finally get that in place, man, it just pops off. It really does. So I'm really excited to get my current game project to that level. There's a few more things I have to do yet, but I think I'm getting closer for sure. And now that I have the context of seeing what that process looks like, even though it only took 3 days, well, now even if it takes me 6 months to get the rest of this other game working, I can use that same beginning, middle, end type process. And it just helps me see the full vision of the project. So it kind of helps motivate you, like, hey, I just need to do a little bit more and then we're gonna enter the next step. So it's not like I'm gonna be stuck in this one spot spinning circles forever, because that just fries your brain. So I think once you finally hit that next stage and your game pops off and you're like, here it is, this is my game, it's finally happening, and now I can fully lock in and just be creative and do all the fun things. That's really worth working towards for sure. But yeah, I just thought I'd make a quick video on that. It was just something interesting I personally found recently. Let me know if there's anything you've been finding out in your game development process. In general, just anything that's been helping you recently, let me know in the comments. I haven't been able to upload recently on this channel, but I am always trying to find new content to come up with. I think this is a simple one, just a talking head. It doesn't have a lot of overhead, you know, and I can just kind of get everything out and share it with you, and we can talk about it in the comments. So I think this might be a good format to roll with. I've just been super busy. Like I said, I've been locking in, trying to focus on my games. And of course, you know, the endless amounts of other things daily life brings. It's a matter of trying to balance everything. I really love posting on YouTube and I want to continue doing it. So it's just a matter of trying to get it to fit into my routine in a way that works. But hopefully I'll have some updates on my game eventually. Like I said, I just need to get out of the prototype phase a bit before I can start showing anything on it. But that'll be really exciting to actually share with you. I'm feeling really good about it, and I think it's a unique system that isn't quite out there just yet. So, but yeah, anyways, so I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what's helping you, and go out there and make some great games.